Captain's log, 11th of September 2023. I'll speak a bit louder because the generator's on. And what have I got to say for myself today? Well, today I have run out of money, and so I really am entering the dark corridor of definancialised living. I can feed myself for another week. Even though liver soup is delicious, it is wearing a little bit thin, but I have a high threshold, like a lot of blokes, for eating the same food every day, because of course food is fuel and eating is a job, and that's all there is to it. There's no reason to get over elaborate about that one. And I've got some petrol, I've got some diesel, and if I can mend this very seat here, which you see, I've got to put a skirt on that, which was going to be a job that I gave to a carpenter, but now I'm having to do it myself. Then I do have the prospect of getting some charters in. I have the agreement of my prospective business partner, to advertise the boat as long as the seat that sits over the engine is sturdy. So there is that. So hopefully we'll get the show on the road this week. So it's pretty, despite the current impecuniosity which is hitting home, I'm hopeful of getting some money in the door soon, which would be a real yippee moment. And other than that, well, I have been whinging in previous videos about having to go and, well, I had to go through a large elaborate process with the immigration office, the Thai, what is it, not the immigration, it is the immigration office, yeah, to get a certified proof of address to enable the sale of my house, that's my flat, the auction of my flat rather, to go ahead in Bournemouth at the end of the month. Now, of course, they don't need to know where I live in Thailand, it's just a box that has to be ticked. So I had to go and get a notarized proof of address. It was a terrible job to extract it from the immigration office, and I had to trouble the owner of the hotel to extract all sorts of information, copy parts of my passport. And this is actually, it was really annoying me, and it's because it's actually a lot of unpaid work. And this is happening everywhere, that institutions are forcing unpaid work onto people, onto small businesses, and it's killing those small businesses, making them unprofitable and joyless and miserable to work in. You ask my brother who works in the lettings industry what the council now require. They can instantly demand reports on landlords and how many landlords have you got, what do they earn, what's the state of their properties, send me all of their certificates. Well, that's a lot of work. And do it in the format that we, the council, tell you to do it in. I.e., we will not accept a data dump from you. You have to do it our way. This is unpaid work. This is actually slave labour. This is or exploitation or bureaucratic oppression. It's all of those things, actually, in part. And then there is the actual point about the fact that I presented this document, which took me a long time to get, and many journeys backwards and forwards, 2 hours of my time, half an hour, or in fact actually in total an hour of the small business's time, because they had to do more work, and maybe 45 minutes, something like that. And when I sent them the document, no, it wasn't acceptable because it needed to be translated and notarized. So they've taken a prime document, which is an official document, and because it's in a foreign language, they've said I have to translate it. I, the only person on the planet who could possibly benefit in some way, possibly, it's a very remote possibility, but by falsifying that material, they give me the job of notarizing and translating it. It's utterly ridiculous. Because they don't want to dip into their massive £2,000 fee, £2,000 to sit at a desk while I give them all the data and they rubber stamp everything. £2,000. £2,000. Whereas really, if they, I went onto their website and I put it all in. They get all of their searches through APIs. This is just money printing. And they rely on me for the translation. And as I said, the only person in the world that could possibly benefit has been entrusted with the translation. So it doesn't make sense whichever way you look at it. And of course, it's all more jobs for the boys because it's got to be notarized over here, which is jobs for the notaries over here. And it's all, in one sense, I think, well, why are you getting so annoyed about it? But I think it's genuinely part of a soul-destroying death by 1,000 cuts, a bureaucratic weaponization against small businesses, and a humiliation of individuals, and a power play by authorities. And by the way, conveyancing is a ridiculous process for selling a house, because nowadays, of course, it would be possible to do it in a day. I'm not saying it would be a good idea. I think there should be a 2 or 3 week. I think there should be more focus on is that person in the right frame of mind? Are they being taken advantage of by their relatives? That's the most important thing. The actual conveyancing could be done easily on computer, and I'm sorry to say I'm not a fan of AI eating our jobs, but when it comes to conveyancing, I will let out a small cheer. I won't be able to help myself. I will, feel some degree of satisfaction over that. And that's a terrible thing. And by the way, it also underlines all, if you think about the advent of AI conveyancing, by the way, ChatGTP or programs that are of that level would do a much better job than lawyers, sadly, because it's all detail and it's all anal retentive information presentation and analysis. It's just better at it. It's got a huge, it's got a database of everything, and it can correspond with individuals and understand conversations. But prior to that, the conveyancing industry has just been a bloated, archaic boys' own club. I won't say boys' own club, but self-serving club, where they've retained archaic practices. It takes 3 months to do a search. We've sent to Oxford for the search, but it's being delivered by horse-drawn carriage, by penny post, but the going underfoot at this time of year is not so good, so it might be here by Middlemarch. It's just ridiculous when information can fly around the world at the speed of light, that they are still charging these sorts of amounts and have these archaic processes. So I don't know, I'm also slightly conflicted over it, because you shouldn't remove human beings from the whole chain of command, but they really take the piss, man. They really, really take the piss. So there we go. So that's a reflection on life. That's in my captain's log. Now, what else? The dinghy is a worry because it could be called in at any time, and the big one is in a terrible, terrible state. And I might dip into that a little bit and show you the horrible condition of that dinghy. Did I do that yesterday? I'll just tell you about it now. The big soft bottom dinghy, never get a soft bottom dinghy. It's in a shocking condition. It keeps springing leaks. It can't even be used at the moment. And I'm looking around for another solution. I want to build my own dinghy. I mean, just on a couple of pontoons with just a rack to put the motor on. It just needs to float and take a motor, right? And of course, it has to be good in baddish weather. I bet I could build one. But anyway, that's a job for tomorrow. That is my captain's log for today, and now we'll do a bit of Fix Your Life and a very interesting Fix Your World section today, which is calculating the amount of warming that will be saved by the implementation of net zero. It's a belter. Alright, there's my captain's log. See you tomorrow. Okay everybody, here we are in the Fix Your Life section. This can be fairly brief these days. Note that the money is very low, i.e. zero, and that's the real point. I'm going into a period of real financial challenge at the moment. But, you know, it's not, I mean, I'm not experiencing a crash in my mood, my positivity, my interest, my alertness, and my stress is fairly even at 5, so I'm not really having a crash because of that, so that's good. Have a quick look at the Trello board for Fix Your Life, and I would actually, looking at this, I'm going to do a bit of guitar, and I'm going to do a bit of Learn More Thai. I'll pop that over there. So we'll do a bit more of that. The guitar, no, actually, that is actually more or less what I'm working on in my spare time, so that's correct. The new set for Bohemia is going well. Bohemia is the music club, and a couple of really good guys there. Quinn on the guitar, Alex on the bass. Drummer is, I think we're going to have to let him go because he's a bit of a plodder, but it's looking good, really. There's Fix Your Life section. So Fix Your Boat section. We're on this Fix Your Boat phase 1, and I'm doing general repairs, specifically the seat. So I will report back on those tomorrow. So here's a summary for you. I'm going to do some Thai, learn some Thai. I'm going to do some guitar. I'm going to fix the seat. I should be doing the dinghy. It's worrying me, but the dinghy owners, he's a bit sort of nutty, the owner of the dinghy, and I can never quite work it out. Sometimes he sort of phones me up and says, oh, it has to have the dinghy back, and he doesn't really. It's a problem, because if he does really want it back, then that's the small, decent, hard bottom dinghy that I'm using at the moment with an aluminium hull. Oh no, it's a fiberglass hull. I've got to get my soft bottom dinghy back in the water, and it's just in a shocking state. It's got multiple water and air leaks. They can be repaired, hopefully, but anyway, I'm going to risk it today because I've got other stuff to do. Here's something I have to do today. I guess it's in the Fix Your Life section. I have got to, yeah, it is in the Fix Your Life section. It's notarize proof of address. So I've got to go and do that. So those are my things for today. So I'll report back on those tomorrow. I'll report back on those, and I'll report back on I'll report back on the general repairs. Mike might turn up today, the Russian Captain Mike, to do the engine service. We don't know. Alrighty, so on to the fix the world section. Good one today.
Using the IPCC official figures, if we went to net zero in 30 years, we would avoid 0.38 of a degree Celsius of global warming. So the UK would save 1% of 0.38 of a degree Celsius warming, or 0.0038 degrees Celsius at a projected cost of 4 trillion, before raw material costs rise due to scarcity. Therefore probably 8 to 12 trillion at least. See the link below for the full discussion, where the IPCC's own figures show the impossibility of even one country achieving net zero. Like, subscribe and comment to spread sanity.